Hey, listeners, have you ever wondered what you're missing on the Patreon?
Let us ask you these questions. Do you like the Pre-Fixe? There's an extended version of it every week on the Patreon called the a la carte.
Do you miss your favorite dead celebrities? We have a medium who comes on to talk to them on the Patreon.
Are you an astrology buff? We have an astrologer who comes to the Patreon to read the celebrity stars.
Do you want to hear what we edit out of the podcast? Then you can listen to our cutting room floor episodes on the Patreon.
Do you ever wish we could fix you? Then listen to our all-tier advice episodes right now on the Patreon.
And if you ever want to kiki with other listeners of this pod, come to one of our hilarious live Zoom spectaculars.
Still not convinced? No problem. Head on over to patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople to listen to an example episode of each of these. Absolutely free. See you on Patreon.
Where's Shelley?
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where two reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the Pre-Fixe, your weekly pop culture roundup.
Christopher, our cups runneth over this week. It is a week of, shall we say, pop culture cleavage. There's a lot to do. We are spilling out of our cups.
Yeah. Is it heaving breasts?
Heaving.
Or
yes, absolutely.
Heaving. But heaving isn't a word. I always say heaving, but I know it's wrong.
I mean, heaving could possibly be a verb that we make up, which is the act of being a heathen. But no, it's a heaving bosom.
Heaving breasts. Anyway.
It's a heaving bosom. And I was unsure what to start with this week. Should it be what we are affectionately calling the TimberTapes around these parts?
And I'm already mad. I already am mad that we're going to fight about this because we fall on
because you already know. You know
of the
that
spectrum.
I've softened on him.
I'm pre-mad at you right now already. And we haven't even said anything.
There's nothing to be mad. You're going to go. I understand you're going to go full Joffrey on Justin Timberlake today, and I understand this. But I have to be
not full.
I have
Joffrey.
to be the demure one. No. Well, let's wait. Let the listeners wait because there's something more important that you don't even know about before we have our duel. Was it going to be that, or was it going to be The Bachelorette being canceled? I was awake all night thinking, what should we start with? And then I came across a little story yesterday, the headline being Celine Dion returning to the stage in Paris. Paris. So we don't have a confirm yet, but it appears as though Celine will be returning. The venue, of course, the largest in Europe. After taking French for 8 years, I can finally use it in a professional capacity. She will be performing at the Paris La Défense Arena, which is the largest arena in Europe. And it appears as though she'll be doing bi-weekly concerts in September and October, is the rumor, leaving her enough space to make sure, because of the condition she has, whether or not she can still do this. So it's not, it's a residency, but not like the one in Vegas. Like this will be like a twice a week thing to see how much she can handle. And if I'm Chris DeRosa or someone in France, I am like, vive la Celine, vive all of it. But if I'm Canadian, I'm thinking, bitch, you're French Canadian. Why don't you do this in Quebec instead of Paris? One minor eyelash of a side eye at that. Other than that, bring her back, bring her on. Let's do this. I don't know how much money is left on the FFP credit card, but we may need to be.
We might need to go
on le ground, boots de la terre, if we need it.
Not de la terre. No, but like legitimately, I've never been to Paris. I've never been to France in general. I've never been. Never been. So like,
I almost want to go with you on your second trip just so you can shop on the first one, which is something I don't do.
You don't want to be a part of. Yeah.
You can get that out of the way. And then like I can come the second time and we can go to the other places. That's fantastic. And I really do want to go when you're there.
No,
we gotta work it out.
We might go. I'm going. Like, I need to go. How many? I mean, that you want to talk about a war? You want to talk about people fighting? It's American losers like myself going to France to see Celine Dion and the Parisians being like, get the fuck out of our
Leave
city.
our nation.
Like, and me being like, shut your mouth. Like, me like slapping them all in the face. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's.
We're also at war with everyone right now. Are we allowed to leave the country? I'd be afraid to go to Cancun at this point.
I don't know.
So Celine, welcome back.
I have so many songs that I want to sing of hers right now, and I don't even know which one to pick. That's how happy I am. Like, for real.
Speaking of singing songs,
those times you stood by me.
And by the way, is that the song we duetted on in the Patreon?
Yes.
All right, listeners, I need you to pay attention. If you have not already subscribed to the Patreon or done an Apple subscription for the content we have behind the paywall, when I tell you that this weekend, Christopher and I recorded, I don't know when this is going to post.
It's already it's up. It's up.
It's up now?
It's up now.
Diane Warren lost the Academy Award for Best Original Song for the 17th time 2 weeks ago. And so Chris and I decided to do a Patreon where we look at all 17 songs that lost, what beat it. It's probably the most fun 45 minutes I've had. And I always have fun doing this, but it was truly not only that, but what you will get on this broadcast is Christopher and I singing a duet of Because You Loved Me by...
For no reason at all. And me not knowing the words.
No reason. Chris just started singing it and I just started harmonizing and it went on for like 2 full minutes and no one stopped.
I'm also this way, but I do like that you will bring up a backup vocal. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of being like, let me also sing the lead, it's like, no, actually, I'm going to fall back now and do like some
there
oohs
can
and
only
ahs.
be one.
I love that. Like, because I'm also, I feel often that person, you know.
As someone who loves the spotlight, there can only be one. A pin spot is for one person. And when my partner is in there, I will be in the back. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's how Luther Vandross started. So
period. That's on the Patreon on the $20 tier right now. And it's a romp.
It's a real hoot. It's a real hoot.
There's peaks, there's valleys, there's...
Oh God. She's lost to some heavy hitters. You understand why she's the losingest person in Oscar history when you hear the songs that beat it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's move on. Speaking of heavy hitters, what would you like to do? Let's just do it. I see you are. I can already see the smoke coming out of yours. We begged for it. And then in the middle of the night on Friday, I sent a siren to the group chat and I said, the TimberTapes have been released. I don't even know how the process of how we got here. I thought he was successful in blocking it.
You'd
Someone
think we
in
would
Sag
have heard
Harbor
more
was
like,
nope.
Yeah.
Nope,
You'd think we would have heard like more like court battles about it.
Nothing. It was truly at like 11 p.m. on a Friday and they came out. My review, and which is why Christopher is about to attack me both physically and emotionally, is that was he douchey? Yeah, he's Justin Timberlake. But like he arrives that way,
but not really. That's
why.
Also, why I'm mad. I'm also mad because it's not worse.
Oh, so you're also mad at Justin Timberlake. You're not just mad at Dominick Pupa for softening
correct.
on it. Yes.
No. Our thing is what it is, but like I'm also mad at what I received. Go ahead.
Yes. For the record, my stance on DUIs remains the same. It's
sure,
like utterly like, particularly the richer you are, the least likely it should be that you're getting one.
Why are you driving your own car? Period. Not even drunk. At 7 a.m. in the morning, why are you driving your own car?
I am not.
The first thing.
The day I'm wealthy enough to not pull on my own socks, that's my goal. That's it. You can kill me that day. Like I'm done. Like why bother?
Why not? And like his music royalties he will be rich off of those for the rest of his life.
Yeah, these people don't understand.
If he's not rich off of that, who is? You know what I mean? Like what's the point of any of this? You know what I'm saying?
He's in the absolutely. Yeah. He's in the car. He is, to his credit, doing everything in his power to not say the words, I'm Justin Timberlake, until he just doesn't have a choice. They're asking him, either the cops are asking him what he does or why he's in town. And he's like, I'm on tour. I'm on a world tour. And they didn't recognize him.
But also, why wouldn't you just say, I'm a singer?
I don't know.
I'm a singer.
He's because he was drunk. He was like, also drunker than I thought, by the way. Like he was lit. Like he
absolutely
should not have been driving.
Yeah.
No way.
Period. Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm Justin Timberlake. And the cop literally says, you're Justin.
You are? Yeah, what a slam, by the way.
Yeah, buddy. I'm middle-aged now. I'm sorry. I don't have macaroni here anymore. I'm just a middle-aged man from Florida.
I wish he would have the cop would have put up like the meme of like, it's gonna be May. And they'd be like, this is you.
Highlight, of course, his friend shows up, this mystery woman who has since been identified just as a friend. Her name is Esty Stanley. She shows up and she is giving Lizzie Grubman. She's giving red carpet PR hack. She's giving all of it. And they blurred her in the video, but she's saying to the cop, she's like, seriously, can I just give him his phone? Can I just give him his phone? Like, if you ever liked Bye 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 or Sexy Back, can we just do this favor? And it's like, girl, like what Justin was absolutely refusing to do.
He actually was doing okay. And then you
Esty Stanley showed up and ruined it. Esty Stanley ruined the tour. Justin Timberlake was probably just fine.
Also, Esty Stanley as a name. Love it.
It's so strange.
That's giving Shirlene Quigley. You know what I mean? Like it's like, she might catch a follow. She actually might catch a follow.
Esty Stanley. Is she like a fashion reporter or a backup dancer? That name could be anything, actually.
She's catching a follow from me, is all I'm going to tell you. Okay, here's the problem. And this is the 360 view of this problem. I'm mad that you said you're softening to him and you actually think it's kind of adorable, the tapes that you watch. I'm upset about that just because I fucking hate him. Like, just period. Like, how dare you do this to our girl Brittany? You know what I mean? It's like what I'm...
Like, do you think this is ruining our dynamic? That I'm now like,
no.
As someone who's been drunk in public and pretended not to be many times in hundreds of circumstances, I looked at him and I'm like, you're pulling every arrow out of that quiver and it's nothing hitting the target right now. I mean, I've been there sometimes with police, but I was never behind the wheel when that happened, for the record.
The second part of it is that you can see that he's absolutely shitting his pants, that he's getting a DUI. And so that, like, although he should be because it's a terrible thing to do, I'm like, I know this is an outdated saying that I should not use, but I have no other words other than to say, you're this much of a pussy ass bitch. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that when it says 2009, but like, that's what you're doing. Like, and then you started texting being like, what do you want him to do? Assault the police officer? And I'm like, kind of, I don't know. I'd be like, you said, call the police officers pigs. And I'm like, kind of. I'm like,
because that's what we expected. I think
he has zero street cred in this interaction. But then again, we have to remember that we're in Sag Harbor, New York. This is like a country road that he's on. He's not like in an inner city being like, and then I'm like on the street and it's hot and I'm like doing this and then I'm getting like the police are harassing me. It's like, he's like on a country road with no one else on it and he got pulled over.
And completely lit. So then part two of it is, of course, they take him into the station. He is handcuffed. He is cuffed to either the desk or to himself or whatever. And he is so inquisitive. And he's like this, he's definitely poking around like, are you doing this on purpose? Because I'm Justin Timberlake. And he keeps repeatedly asking, does this happen for everybody? The cop is like, this is absolutely standard. The cop still like, no wonder they awarded that cop afterwards, because honestly, to be in front of a superstar like that and not treat him differently is, I would imagine for me, that would be difficult.
Love to see it. Love, you're a person just like me breaking the law. Bye. You know what I mean? Like,
he is absolutely gobsmacked when he finds out he has to spend the night in jail, and he looks at the accommodations and the guy's like, well, they might take you somewhere else where we have blankets. And Justin goes, this is wild. You guys are wild. And it was in that moment when I'm like, I think you're in on this now. You need to ride this wave and just go to sleep, Justin. Sleep it off.
Oh my God.
But the best part, which we haven't mentioned yet, is when Justin's looking at the forms that they have filled out and he's making sure everything is on it. He looks up at the cops and it's because they had marked off under race. And he looked up and said, white? I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding. And it's like,
oh, brother. Justin, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Oh, you did it? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. What a loser. Oh,
he's trying to crack a joke.
I hate him.
He's trying to crack a joke. And I'm like, Justin, not only was the joke misplaced, but you couldn't be more Caucasian than in the past 20 minutes. Like, this is the whitest anyone's ever been.
Ever in their lives.
Embrace it and take your lumps.
See,
man.
that's the problem, is that he thinks he's black still.
Well, he's always had that sort of edge. I mean, he's not gone full Dolezal, but he was a white person back in his era where everyone was sort of, Christina did it for a long time. Sure. Like everyone was, I'm even like, I get nervous even about using the phrase acting black, but I think everyone knows what we're talking about.
Of course. Remember, wait, what was faux shizzle, faux shizzy, faux shizzy?
Jesus,
Remember from
please
Britney's
don't.
book? You know what I mean?
This is a
Let's
whole-
not forget. Let's not forget.
It's a whole era that I wish I could erase from my mind.
And that meme where he's like, wiggity, 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 wiggity. And he's like doing those and he's doing like beatboxing on the stage.
Oh, God. Wait, what about the cosmic wonder of this coming out like 5 minutes after Britney gets a DUI? Like it truly is. The universe is truly saying to us, these two never should have broken up. They would have been the American Beckhams and succeeded if they just weren't so young and if they'd just given it a shot.
I know, but he traded he wanted to be famous.
He did.
That's what this, I mean, from reading her book, it's not stated because she doesn't know this for sure, but like she all but alludes to like that the record label was like, you should break up with her because then you can write an album saying that she cheated on you.
And that was a good album. Yeah. Whether or not it's true, the songs were good.
Okay, exactly. And it made him a solo artist. You know what I mean? Right. It made him an incredible solo artist and
fucked up Britney mentally for the rest of her life.
And also,
like, hey, we have the songs.
He had been cheating on her the whole time. Like she was like, he wasn't faithful to me at all. And then I cheated on him one time with Wade Robson. And then that made, then he wrote a whole album about it.
Well, just a few days ago, Britney Jean was spotted for the first time since her arrest. She was at a Starbucks looking fine. Voluminous hair, I will say.
I don't want her picking up her own Starbucks. Similar to why is he driving drunk? Why is she picking up her own Starbucks? I don't want that.
Well, she's got to leave the house at a certain point.
Sure.
Why? Because you feel like she's
But
drinking?
to go shopping. Why can't she go shopping? You know what I mean? Why can't she go to a roller coaster? Why can't she go to
roller coaster? Well, she was in Malibu, so I don't know what the theme park situation is in Malibu.
Like, can't she go swim in the ocean? Like, why can't she go to the beach? Like, why is she going to pick up her own Starbucks? I don't like it.
All right. Well, I mean, her team supposedly is figuring out what the next response is supposed. Like, apparently, those close to her, whoever these elusive people are. And by the way, those of you who are close to Britney Spears, I got to say, you've been doing a pretty shitty job for the past couple of years. No offense. Like, whichever one in your inner circle you wanted her out of the conservatorship, you were then supposed to bolster her, and it didn't work. So they're trying to figure out, does she go to rehab, blah, blah, blah. She clearly doesn't want to, as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, did you see that there's like rumor, and again, this could be just a completely made up thing that has no actual real stand. Like there's no actual real proof of this, but allegedly the Kardashians are trying to like get their claws into her so that they can like rehabilitate her.
That's great. That's great.
Which I'm kind of okay with. I'm like actually fine with that. Like hence like the sleepovers and all that stuff. Like I think they actually are like, this woman needs us.
And mostly because Britney is a woman, because women who come into contact with the Kardashians tend to thrive. Every man that even attempts to like graze the force field around them, their lives
are obliterated.
And we'll speak about Timothée Chalamet again in a moment because we're still not done with his scrawny white ass. The other big story of the week is, of course, like right after we posted last week, all hell broke loose in Bachelor Nation, and videos come out of Taylor Frankie Paul throwing a stool while drunk and hitting.
Horrific.
I mean, truly, I'm going to go indoors and not speak for at least a year after this. The Bachelorette was canceled. The only good thing was a lot of fun memes, even on our group chat, where people are like, these poor 12 male contestants or however many there are. Yeah. They were all gearing up to be non-influential personal training influencers. Now what will they do with their lives?
No, truly.
So, there's talk that Taylor Frankie Paul is going to sue ABC. There's talk that all the male contestants are going to sue. Everyone's suing everybody.
Are they? Why?
Is The Bachelorette ever? Will the franchise survive? Is it time to cancel it? No, it's absolutely going to be back. I don't even believe they'll pause it. I believe that another season of The Bachelor will be out in the fall. Like normal. I think that these contestants, these male contestants, are likely going to put them on Bachelor or Bachelorette in Paradise or one of the offshoots that they do during the summer.
Or not. It's not. Or not. At the end of the day, they don't win anything. You know what I mean? It's like when you win, when you
they
are
just
the one at the end, they win.
That's
like
the only reason.
But there's no, this isn't a competition. I mean, it is, but it's not like, this isn't like Chopped. You know what I mean? This isn't
no, there's no
you don't
prize
win money at the end of this. So it's like they can just be like, no, we're not going to air it. And there is no way that doesn't say it. Like if they decide not to air this, like they have it's at their discretion. There's no way that's not in the contract.
And they are I believe the argument is that if this person was such a danger, why did you set us up on dates with her? Why didn't you protect us? So
see, that's different.
There's a lot of angles here, but the bottom line is like this happens. Now, Taylor Frankie Paul, I haven't seen The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I do know that a lot of crazy shit is happening there because a couple of days ago, a second wife on that show, her husband announced that he's divorcing her and got a restraining order against her. This is a second cast member on that show.
Do you know what her name was? Do you know? Her name is Jessie Draper and her husband's name is Jordan. Oh, no.
Not Decorah. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Sure. But he filed for divorce from her on March 19th.
Is getting divorced? Oh, no.
And he's filed a restraining order against her. So I don't know. I had no idea that Mormonism was like the UFC. Jesus fucking Christ.
Dominick.
What is, and the women are all the fighters. Lord.
Well, to be fair, and P.S. one of our longtime listeners that now has a podcast is like, I volunteer as tribute to fix Taylor Frankie Paul, and I think that needs to happen.
He said your daughter's right there, and she threw the chair anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a little shy to me. I gotta be honest.
It is.
And here's the other reason, Christopher, because I'm not sure if you know this because I haven't spoken to you in a few days, but she posts yesterday or 2 days ago.
She's like, here I am, right?
Yeah.
Like,
what am I supposed to do? She tweets, what am I supposed to do? Stare at the wall in response to criticism of her being active on social media.
Actually.
And you know what, bitch? You are fucking supposed to. So this is an example of someone going from I love to hate to now I don't want to see you. Like now I hate you because you were caught on camera doing something really horrific. This is when you're supposed to retreat. And you know what I always think of? Remember when Phaedra, whatever she did and she had falsely accused.
Yeah, she set up Candy. Yeah.
She set up and Candy just went off on her. You can almost in that Atlanta reunion see Phaedra just taking a deep breath and being like, everyone's got to take lumps once in a while. So Phaedra did the opposite of what Taylor Frankie Paul's doing. Now, they're both interesting strategies. You can either tell people to fuck off. If I may say, Taylor Frankie is taking a bit of a Donald Trump strategy here, where she's just like, I know how bad it looks and I'm going to make it worse and fuck you.
Yeah.
Or if you want respect and longevity and all those other things, you do what Phaedra did and you just take a deep breath, go away for a year or two, come back and own Married to Medicine and Traitors and literally anything else you're cast on. And that's it. Take your punishment and move on.
Period. Taylor
Frankie Paul, there could have been a moment where there was some sympathy or empathy. She blew that very quickly. And everything that's coming out about her now, I'm actually stunned that they made her the Bachelorette.
The first episode of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is like, you see police body cam footage of them showing up at her house and she's like obliterated drunk and is like crying and is like, because she got in a domestic dispute.
Yeah,
that's like episode 0. That's like the trailer of the fucking series is that. You know what I mean? So it's like, no one can be surprised when that's like what you start with on that show.
Like when you're going to be a TV reality villain, you want to be Tiffany Pollard. You want to be Candy Muse. You want to be like Rob from Big Brother. Yeah. You want to be someone who's not going to like put someone's life into, you want to be in on the joke a little bit. And Taylor Frankie Paul is just, I mean, honestly, she seems like a decrepit individual. I don't know her, but literally everything I know about her.
So much. When you gas her up so much to be the Bachelorette, and then all the Bachelorette, did you see the thing that was like all the former Bachelorettes come and they're like, you're part of the sisterhood now and blah, blah. Like they're putting her into this huge, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're putting her into this a family, next level of thing. And it's like, for what?
Mm-hmm.
When she's just going to go back to this Dakota, this guy that she has these kids with that's terrible.
Well, yeah, apparently the night before going to the Bachelorette, she was with that guy. What's his name? Dakota Mortensen?
Something. I don't know what his last name is.
By the way, if he's not a local sports anchor with that name, then he's a wasted opportunity.
I mean, he wishes he was a local. He's like a fucking loser. But
well, he's a loser who looks like an angel today because she's such a loon. So that's the wave he needs to ride. He shouldn't even be texting this woman. I don't care if they have kids together.
But it's like, they're just going to be together again. Like, that she's not going to survive this. Like, she's not going to be with this.
She may have an actual screw
bachelor or whatever. Also, her family is a fucking nightmare. Like, if you watch the show, like I watched some of the second season to do with Kay Casey. And when I tell you, like, one of the scenes was like her entire family being like, "You're a whore." They're like, "Why aren't you nicer to this man who's horrible?" P.S. He's no Rose. Like, he's horrific to her. So like, like
well, that's
it goes
good to
both
know,
ways.
because
You know what I mean?
he looks like an angel right now.
He's
truly.
a monster. Like, they're not, he's just as much to blame with shit like this than she is. Like, he is absolutely not a nice person to her. Her entire family is like, "You're a fucking dirty slut. Like, why won't you stop being a dirty slut?" And I was like, I've never seen something so dark on TV. I was like gobsmacked by it was, yeah. She's not in a good, does not have anyone around her that's nice to her.
Two things.
Also.
I can't remember if we mentioned it last week or on a Patreon episode, but like a meme has went around pretty quickly that she looks just like Matthew Lawrence.
Yeah,
like
which
they
is
have
true.
the same exact face. I cannot unsee it. I truly can't unsee it. Like, I feel like she's in drag now when I look at her. I think she is Matthew Lawrence. If Matthew Lawrence doesn't dress as her for Halloween, talk about a missed opportunity. I mean,
No, for
this
real.
is like,
For
get
real.
it done. And the second thing is like, she's leaning in, she's pulling like a, whatchamacallit, a Bad Bobby catch me outside, Bad Barbie catch me outside moment. And it's just like, baby, I promise you, it is the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. You need to listen to somebody because you fucked everything up. You gotta.
And go away for like a full year.
But ABC, Hulu, Disney, at the risk of never working with you again, it's just got to be said, multiple people need to lose their jobs for this. Like, this was preventable, because all the shit that came up wasn't new. It was old stuff that would let leaked at the right time. And what we're hearing is that because she was already a Disney, Hulu, ABC employee, they didn't do a full background check like they normally would on that show, because they had assumed she'd already been through it to be on Secret Lives. So I don't know how true that is. It does sort of make sense. And as someone who was a producer on 6 seasons of The Bachelor, it is pretty remarkable, because the paperwork to be anything on that show, like even a contestant, is, if you remember what a phone book is, it's 3 of them tied together. It's insane. Credit check, background check, blood
Not credit
tests.
check.
Oh, Maron. The nurse on that show, I'm sure I'm violating some NDA here, but in seasons I worked there, she had to deliver pretty damning blood test results to people. Like, you can't, they go over your literal DNA with a fine tooth comb
Dear God in
to
heaven.
get on that show.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that a person who seems to be an actual lunatic was cast as the
Well, so they don't
Bachelorette.
want to have that information in writing in front of them, is what it is.
Yeah.
They probably didn't do it because they knew what they would find.
So
How
an
much-
announcement is
okay.
expected later today that Shia LaBeouf will be the new Bachelor. It'll start.
No,
shooting,
literally.
right?
How much do you want to bet it was the girls that are on the show with her? Because they can't stand her. They want her off that show so badly. How much?
Very
do you want to bet?
clearly, but
How much do you want to bet?
I would bet $0, because I think that that's probably what happened. But if I'm those girls, I'm a little nervous that my whole paycheck's going away, because
Yeah.
a second wife getting a restraining order against her after what happened with The Bachelorette, we must believe that Secret Lives is going away. We've
No,
got
I don't
to
think
believe
so,
that
Dominic. I don't think it's their biggest reality show. And like everyone watches it. I don't, but like it's very successful compared to their other things. Like,
it's the show that came from Mom Talk, right? Like, that's
Yes.
okay.
correct.
I don't know.
Mom Talk will not survive this. We'll tell you that much, because that's what they say in every episode.
Well, a lot of restraining orders happening there. I mean, I wouldn't even go to Salt Lake for a layover at this point. There's so much bad shit happening in that state. Jesus.
Here's what's happening though, is that like there's girls lining up to be on the show. So if they need to do like a half reboot, they can do it in lickety split. You know what I
think
mean?
I think Bachelor Nation will remain unscathed. I think it's pretty obvious they fucked up. This is a random lunatic. The Mormon Wives show, I think, is in more trouble than Bachelor, but we'll see
Who
how
could
it
be the
goes.
next Bachelor that would like erase all of this?
Dominick
good
Pupa,
question.
probably.
Oh, goodbye.
Me,
Okay,
the
let's-
one and only.
let's go.
Why not? I don't even understand.
Imagine you going into the house and being like, look, here's my old room.
I want all genders, all races, but only under 35. Just kidding. And they should all be Latin, men and women. Let's move on to something else. Did you get a chance yet to watch Oprah Louise Winfrey interview Kristen Cabot, the Coldplay Kiss Cam Woman?
I have not, but I did see on the Bible, people.com's Instagram, that she was saying something, and what an odd choice to do this now, but I'm interested. What, did you watch it?
I did. I did. And I was compelled. I mean, it's not unlike what you think it would be. Like it's someone who got caught up in something that went insane. You know, like she and her boss had not yet hooked up. And I believe her fully.
Honest, that's worse. That's worse.
And they were, you know, she tells the whole story. I don't believe this woman is lying. I really don't. She was so sincere.
Sure.
She didn't show up there in tears. I mean, she's obviously a professional woman who has tried to handle this as best as she can. She admitted her mistakes, but she's like, it just went so far. Like we were literally going to speak to the board a few days later to say that we were interested in each other and we were going to go out on a date, but they'd never fucked. Nothing had happened and it just flew out of control. What she's pissed about now is that they became close because she said to him, you know, I'm separated. I have been for a minute. And he said, oh, I am too. Apparently has found out that he wasn't. So this is almost like she wouldn't have invited him to go to the Coldplay Baby, it is truly the oldest story.
Biblically, honestly.
Men are dogs. There are two of them here who will tell you, don't believe anybody and do not take them to a concert where there's cameras.
Well, also, I mean, at the end of the day, they should have just not. I mean, their reaction is the reason this happened at all. Like, no one would have ever seen it again. Like, it would not have mattered.
Well, and Chris Martin. And the funny thing is, you're going to love this. The funniest thing is, like, she says several times, I was a huge Coldplay fan. I no longer am, because Chris Martin was the one who was like, you're either very shy or having an affair. And no matter what anyone else says, that line is what pushed this all over the top. Had he not said that. So here's the rub. Oprah's interviewing this woman and doing what Oprah does, which is like, you know, Oprah's a great and gifted interviewer, but sometimes she hits people with a sledgehammer and doesn't realize she's doing
and
it.
It's like, and like, it's unblinking. You know what I mean? Like, she's just like, what?
Yeah. She's looking around. She's like, do you believe there's only 8 billion people in the world and it's been seen 300 billion times. What do you make of that? And Kristen Cabot's like, I don't know what to say here. Yeah, like, my life's
humming.
Gayle King, heard of her? She's in the front row. Naturally, don't know how she got those tickets, but she's in the front row of this interview.
And like,
at a certain point,
why?
Gayle King has the unlitigated gall at the end of the interview to say to Kristen Cabot, I think you need to give Coldplay a chance. This isn't their fault. I know and love Chris Martin. And I'm like, get Gayle King the fuck out of here, man. That's your takeaway from this lady?
Not
give Chris
wanting
Martin
sympathy for for Coldplay. They're fine.
Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm looking at Gayle and I'm like, you know what? You went into space and it ate your brain. That's clearly what's happening here. If you
came back and your brain is upside down in your head. You know what I mean? Like, now that she's been to space and we've like literally truly come at her with pitchforks and torches, she doesn't care. She's like, I've been through the worst, so now I'm gonna.
But I tell you that Oprah kept deferring to Gayle throughout. Gayle, who has truly less than nothing to do with this situation, other than she's friends with Chris Martin there to represent. But at a certain point, they're talking about stuff, you know, I don't know, maybe Oprah's like, how much did you have to drink that night, Kristen? And then somebody just comes up, well, you know, Gayle just doesn't drink. And I'm screamed in my living room, who gives a fuck about Gayle and her drinking habits? Who cares?
This is the thing, is like when she did her sit down with Meghan, it was so powerful. It was so impactful.
Because Gayle wasn't there.
It felt so real. And what is this? This like dog and pony show where it's like,
was in the round.
Gayle doesn't drink. It's like, what does anything have any, like, also, what does this woman have to say at this point?
She ran down
year
like
and a half
minute
too
by
late.
minute. I will say it's compelling. I thought the same thing. I'm like, this could have been a Vine instead of like a 1 hour, a 1 hour interview. But she takes you like pretty, and she's amazing to me. Like I would drink with this woman, Kristen Cabot. She seems pretty fierce.
Sure.
By the way, did you know that Gayle's marriage ended because of her husband's infidelity? Found that out in the Kristen Cabot interview. Not sure how it was relevant, but it did come up. It did come up.
I can't. That's insane.
Gayle, these two, honest to God, like Oprah and Gayle, they're turning into an unbearable version of Patsy and Adina. That's what's from AbFab. That's what's happening with Oprah and Gayle. The caftans with Kris Jenner.
Why?
Going into space. They're just turning into loopy old ladies. They're like two Mrs. Ropers floating around the planet. And they're going to get more amusing as time goes on. But
I just don't get to go. It's so weird to me. Because like they used to be, remember when they went to like Colonial Williamsburg? That was so good. Remember on the Oprah show when they went to Colonial Williamsburg and they were like, this is what it would be like to like live in colonial America.
God.
And they'd like churn butter and stuff and they like look terrible. And they were like, that's fun. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see, not this.
You know what's not fun? Looking at a person whose life was ruined by Chris Martin and then saying, I know Chris Martin, give him a chance. Gayle, pack it in. Go to space. Call Katy Perry. No one wants that here, man. Nobody wants that. How dare you? Showing up at an interview and pulling focus when you're neither the questioner nor the questionee. Hi, I'm Gayle King. That's what I do. I'm at CBS forever.
She's like a heckler. Like she's like heckling the interview. Is she not?
I wish it was that brazen too. I wish when Kristen Cavett was talking about Coldplay,
give him a chance.
Leave Coldplay alone. Justice for Coldplay.
You can't even say it. You can't even say it.
Oh, I can't wait to have drinks with Gayle King one day and just toast her and say, I got to ask you, what are you doing? What are you doing,
what
lady?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What is this? How do I do it? How do I show up?
It's the dream.
I want to do it.
It's the dream is what it is.
I mean, is this what we're finding out? Is my bucket list to be Gayle King? Just to like roll up, talk about my shit? The not drinking part's a little suspect. I don't believe that Gayle doesn't drink. She's a kooky aunt who's microdosing, as far as I'm concerned.
100%.
Like, there's no way.
No
way. Okay. Did you happen to see on the Today Show, Craig Melvin is hosting the Pussycat Dolls, the 3 Pussycat Dolls who've been allowed to be on this tour.
Dominick.
And Craig Melvin, I think, by the way, a very obvious question, because the group had 5, well, at one point 6, but Melody, who crossed in front of Nicole,
sure,
in front of that infamous, she's never like,
who was then like struck by a laser beam and like disintegrated. Yeah.
Well, to fill you in, it's like obviously Pussycat Dolls going back on tour. There's 3 of them, and there are 2 that haven't been asked back. When in actuality, there's this random 6th member who no one's even discussing because she pissed Nicole Scherzinger off so bad 15 years ago. No one's even considered that she'd be asked back. Her name's Melody, and she took lead on a song once. It's a famous video. Chris and I talk about it all the time. She hasn't been seen since then. But these other 2 women have been...
I thought that was Carmit. No?
No, that was Melody. Melody's the one that crossed in front of Nicole. Carmit,
started doing runs, and then Nicole was like upset.
Right. No, that's not Carmit. Okay. I don't, if I'm being, and I love Carmit, I don't think Carmit can sing. I think she was there to shake some hips. Yeah, I don't.
Anywho, who amongst?
So they're on the Today Show, the three dolls, and Craig Melvin says, what was the process in deciding who was going to be asked back? And when I tell you that Nicole Scherzinger, who couldn't be more of a professional at being a celebrity and being interviewed, being a diva, she flubbed it like big. She couldn't, as women, I mean, and finally one of the other dolls was like, everyone's legacy with Pussycat Dolls is intact, and we love everyone who's been a part of it. And then Nicole like got her bearings, but kind of a historic what the fuck moment for her.
And that's question 0. Like that's question, they're asking you that. Like, 100%. They're saying, where's the rest of you?
100%.
Right? What, Dominick, a lot of things changed in my mind about her when I saw that answer.
Really?
I don't know. There's something about it that is like, oh, you were doing the performance of a lifetime when you were on Sunset Boulevard and being like, I'm back to the stage. Like, oh, I'm so happy to finally be here. I'm like, and then the minute it was over, you were a mean girl again. I'm like, my antenna is hardcore up on her just from that. How does your publicist not have a prepared answer for the thing that that they're going to fucking ask you? Period.
She had to have been, and she just forgot. I don't know. Unless, like, she's been riding the wave of positive publicity, and, the Pussycat Dolls Instagram page has been, like, out of control.
Sure, but, like...
tour. However, I did, just a few minutes before we went to check on the Madison Square Garden leg of this world tour.
No, don't even say that it's...
I'm cringing. I'm cringing. I there's not going to be a sellout anywhere on this tour. When I tell you that the arena is mostly empty, I mean, you draw breath when you see how empty it is. And you're like, you're not charging me more than $70 to see this now.
How much are the tickets right now?
I can't remember. They were like average prices. They're not like through the roof. But when you see that it's empty like that, we're talking about, I'm guessing that every gay bar in New York is going to be having some sort of giveaway nightly until the tour.
I mean, I'm down for like if it's like under $100, I'm down.
Well, yeah, we should go. I mean, we should definitely
go. But like half as a joke. You know what I mean? Like it's like,
yes. I don't need to see them in concert the way I needed to see her in Pussycat, because like I'll just listen to PCD forever. But
I have buttons at home, you know.
Do you loosen them up is the question.
But I do. I mean, I would love to go see them, but I'm not. But again, like, yeah, it's not $300 that I'm spending for it.
No. Well, Christopher, another year has gone by, and so another Duggar has been accused of molesting a child. Do you believe this?
No, yes, I do. Yeah, sadly, yes, I do believe it, which is the problem.
His wife has also been charged as well,
which
I think is nice.
Yes.
I stopped reading every time another one of the 19 Duggars released a statement about it. People would send me an alert. I almost had to call people on the actual telephone and say, I don't need every Duggar's reaction here. I'm sure they're embarrassed.
I'll be here all day if I'm reading through all of them, because there's so many of them.
Right. I mean, at a certain point, you have to think to yourself, I'm having all these kids. Why am I only creating pedophiles in the men? What am I doing? What is my education to my children doing that more than one of them is like this?
And also, it's never a thought about, it never penetrates of like, oh, this way of life might not be good. And like this purity culture actually is harming them.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
So,
right.
Of course, no.
But of course, that's never even a part of the conversation.
You can't set a standard for a child like that with you. You got to be very careful when you're instilling faith in someone that they don't channel that energy into harming other people when they feel like they can't accept the rules of what you're imposing on them. And just as a side note, all of the Duggars who've been accused of pedophilia, none of them drag queens, none of them trans, and none of them here illegally. Smoke that. Let's move on to another fighting family.
Smoke that.
The Beckham brothers. So the feud has now apparently gone into the music world. So Cruz Beckham is now taking a swipe at his lonely brother, Brooklyn, for breaking, quote unquote, breaking his mother's heart amid a family feud. Cruz has released a song called Loneliest Boy, which we're all saying is about Brooklyn.
Dominic, give me 17 million breaks. I haven't said that in a while.
There are no breaks left for this.
There's no breaks left. There's not one break left, but I need 17 million of them, because what on earth?
Those breaks are on back order, because this family has used so many of the breaks. We are in debt here. There's a Beckham debt of breaks because they have taken them all.
Loneliest Boy, kill Dominic, hit me with a car. You know what I mean? Like
Loneliest Boy is enough of an eye roll that I feel like the sit down is closer than we think.
It's coming.
Because
100%.
We can't push this. We can't push it any further.
No.
Although I will say, with all due respect to the great Posh Spice, I'm glad that if there's going to be a musical response, that it came from Cruz,
it's not her.
Not her. Yeah. So a little less auto-tuned than it would have been. That was a full slamity slam.
They're milking it. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to milk that. Like we were over it. Like it happened and we did it, and then we were moving on, and now they're trying to milk it, which is its own problem. You know what I mean?
Yes. Can we just talk about Chappell Roan for 45 seconds? I don't think I actually know. What are your views on her in general? Like, are you a fan?
I love her music, but I found her. I liked when she was fighting with the paparazzi originally and was being mean, but now I'm like kind of over it.
So it's been coming up more that she's phony, that she's mean, all these things. There was this big article. I don't know if it was a Substack, but someone did like a takedown on her maybe 2 weeks ago, where like, this is why Chappell Roan is a fraud. Like, everyone thinks that she is like came from nothing and she was busking on the street, when in actuality she was from a very upper middle class family.
What a surprise. Well,
and blah, blah. And just, it seemed unnecessary to me. It's like, sometimes people take it too far, but you know, when someone hates somebody in the world, people just put up websites right away dedicating their lives to like publicly hating you and getting other people to hate you.
Yeah.
So Chapel's performing in Brazil. A guy whose name I believe he's a football player, a soccer player. I'm not gonna. He's married to Jude Law's. The reason this took flight is because he is married or partnered with Jude Law's ex. Okay, so he's the stepfather to Jude Law's child with this woman. Okay,
Sure.
11-year-old daughter. So they're in, I believe,
This
Sao
is
Paulo.
the one that was with when he was with the nanny.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
So
Okay.
I believe they're in Sao Paulo. It turns out that this daughter and her dad are staying at the same hotel as Chapel Roan. They see her at breakfast, either the day of or the day before the Chapel Roan concert. The kid gets up, just walks by the table to see if it's her. Is very excited. She's a huge Chapel Roan fan.
Yeah, sure.
And apparently the security guard goes up to their table a few seconds later and just rips them to shreds. Like, this people deserve privacy, blah, 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 leaves the 11-year-old in tears. So the soccer player goes online and eviscerates Chapel Roan. You know, all caps. This is the reason you're nothing without your fans, blah, blah, blah.
True.
That night, Chapel Roan goes to bed, and as she's lying in bed, she very calmly releases an Instagram reel where she's like, listen, I don't know anything about this. I didn't see anyone walk by my table. The security that came up to you is not my personal security. It's the hotel or the restaurant security. And like, I'm sorry this happened. Can we all just calm down? And just ignites a war because it's because she's been so outspoken about people coming at her that she's just, it's always going to be her story now, which is, it's now overshadowed the music officially, where she's just now this hated pop star and people are just coming at her left and right. I like her music. I'm not like in love with her, but I think it's cute and summer and poppy. To see the most unlikely people knowing all the words in Provincetown and singing it on a dance floor. I'm talking about like some of these people like in their 70s and jumping around and singing Pink Pony Club. I remember last summer thinking, or the summer before, like, this is someone who's connecting with people. And here we are like a year later and everyone's like with torches, like death to her. She hates her fans. She hates the paparazzi. Boy George a couple of weeks ago was tweeting, calm down, enjoy your fame. It's all good.
By the way,
thousands of people responding to Boy George. Didn't you chain a hooker to a radiator a couple of years ago? Like, back off, buddy. You're not taking advice, which I hate to see Boy George read like that, but he should know better as well. Don't go after a young hot one. They'll come for you.
That's fame, baby. Sorry to say.
That's fame.
Yeah, like yes, there's so many things I can say, but like
fame costs.
Fame costs. Sorry, like that's, you wanted to be this and now this is what it is. And I understand that you didn't realize that's what this is, but that's what it is. You know what I mean? It's giving when Tina Fey went on Las Culturistas and her I Don't Think So, Honey was, you guys can't give your real opinions of anything anymore. You're way too famous. You know what I mean? Like she was like, you actually can't do that anymore. And that's like, that's what this is. You know what I mean?
I wish
it's like,
that would happen to us, Chris.
I know, if only. what would this podcast be then? It wouldn't be anything.
Yeah, we have to be able to beat up on people or we know we don't live.
Yeah, sorry. You know what I mean? Like, you're famous now. And P.S., you don't have to be. You don't have to do this. You really
retreat.
don't. You don't have to do this.
You can,
but that's the thing is like when you have fans like this and you go on a world tour and you're performing at the Grammys, people are going to want to come up to you and take a photo. Is it crazy that even like at BravoCon and like stuff like that, like seeing people interact with like the Bravo celebrities, all they want is a photo. They don't even barely want to talk to them. They just want a picture they just want to get a picture, which is its own kind of like soulless interaction. Do you know what I mean? Which like, there is problems with the fandoms for sure, but I don't know. Like, and yes, does it have to be? I mean, back in the day, like wasn't her, people were like showing up at her mom's work to try to like talk to the mom. And so like, it was crazy. Like she does have her reasons to be like, this is insane.
And
but
people are crazy. I mean, there's she's not 100% wrong about
their
wanting
stalkers
to be
and all this
of
shit.
course.
People have been murdered by their stalkers, you know, but sorry, you're not going to be able to eat in a hotel lobby.
Yeah.
Like you're just not, you can't. And also when you're rich and pop star, don't you want room service anyway?
You really, when you're famous, you're going to literally just live at the top of a mountain and not interact with anybody. You'll be
in a castle with a moat and alligators.
You'll literally be you'll be airlifted off once a month to like go doctor's appointments.
That's the other thing. She probably does want human connection because she's like, I'm like always like talked at. I remember in Lady Gaga's that 5'2" documentary, she's like, I get talked at all day by people. And then at night, everyone goes home and I'm all by myself and I've no one's there. And I'm like, that is probably really horrible. You know what I mean? I think about that a lot, actually.
Anywho, you know who's having a worse week than Chappell Roan? And I know we got to go soon. By the way, Kate Casey, who we mentioned earlier, is here today to help us fix the icon, Heather Locklear. It's, Kate Casey's a queen. So, if she's here, it's already going to be a great episode. But when mom's here, it's a lot of fun. Coming up on the a la carte after a couple of other stories, Gypsy Rose, remember her, getting a little backlash for a joke she made about murdering her mother, as one does. Natalia Grace, remember her? I love that there's news stories about the two of them.
Our girl.
Well, not unexpected. She is suing Hulu for her portrayal in last year's
you think?
miniseries. Tina Knowles' Gumbo Shack temporarily shuttered by the Board of Health. Can I say that sentence one more time?
Yeah, please do.
Tina Knowles' Gumbo Shack. Why is that funny? Why is Tina Knowles selling gumbo? Talk about someone who needs to be in Nepal. Get out of here.
Why?
By the way, every review of that gumbo on TikTok is that it is truly
inedible.
Not good.
That family, I'm sorry to come at them, but that family will do truly anything for money.
Truly.
Yeah. And it's like, you're so above this. Anyway.
Jada Pinkett Smith has indicated that at a certain point, she is going to let Will Smith move back into their family home. We will talk about this. A lot of casting news, which we will cover on the a la carte. I've watched the new Spider-Man trailer and the new Hacks final season trailer. We will talk about those on the a la carte as well. Two things that I'm excited about, but still one or two more things to go over before we get there. Not a good week for Bob Barker, the long deceased Bob Barker, the host of The Price is Right, where this new E-series that is like tearing old television shows apart. They threw America's Next Top Model on the fire a couple of weeks ago. Did not get as much publicity as the Netflix documentary.
Of course not.
Because why? Because it didn't have Tyra. Once you see Tyra in the Netflix doc and her performance there, you don't need to know anything else. Like, you can write the story after that. But Bob Barker, after Bob Barker's wife died, and he was with her forever, they had like this storied love story. Bob Barker started having an affair with one of Barker's beauties, Diane Parkinson, to be exact.
What a surprise.
Well, the story that they're telling, the living Barker's beauties participated in this documentary. And one of them, the redheaded Barker beauty, Holly Hallstrom, literally says, "I hate that man." Oh, it's a direct quote. And there's another one, Kathleen, I can't remember her last name. She was another of the beauties, but they're interviewed and they talk about that when this affair took place, it was because Bob didn't want Diane sleeping with people of color. And when he found out that his fuck buddy had at some point in her life had sex with someone of color, they had a blowout on the set. And she stormed out, and this quote is yelled in the documentary. Bob's assistant runs after Diane Parkinson on the set of The Price is Right and says, you have to make this right with Bob. You have to apologize to Bob. She whips around in front of the entire crew and says, "I have sucked his dick so much that I no longer need to kiss his ass." Mic drop. So
that's gravestone material right there is what that is.
And even Holly, the Barker's beauty, said that there was someone, I think she can't remember who it is, but someone was like, who is writing Diane Parkinson's material? So Bob Barker, who we all remember, at least people my age, as the guy who guided us through staying at our grandmother's during sick days in elementary school, now a racist and a whore. So that's a legacy killer right there.
Yeah, it sure is.
Let's end on some good news. The new Galinda book arrives in September. It's
good news?
From the, of course.
I don't know.
Continuing that universe, it's got to be good. We love Galinda, don't we?
True. Yes, we do.
So I guess that's a bit of good. The thing is, I'm struggling to look for good news on this list here. There's
true.
Really not too much of it. I got to be honest.
But yes,
let's end with this other. There's a new tour coming out later this year. Whatever is left of these three bands is uniting to go on some iconic tour. TLC, Salt and Pepper, and En Vogue. I don't know who's left or alive or participating, or if they'll go on the Today Show and fuck up their response to why though the original members aren't there. But this is cute and we might go to it.
I'm a viewer.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? So there's some good news.
Love that.
Well, we're really mining for it. Good. You know what? Next week, I promise, we're going to kick, like we did this week, Celine, best news possible. We're always going to, thank you for coming to this development meeting. We're always going to begin and end with good news. Because circumstances in the rest of the world are just getting worse. And so we need to begin and end.
Celine coming back, it's not even, it really hasn't even hit me yet. It hasn't. You know what I mean? Like in a week, I'm going to be like, oh my God, it's really happening. And I'm going to be, but riding high.
Folks, please follow us everywhere. We have a YouTube page. I also have a YouTube page, which I'm trying to harvest, 10 years behind when the medium was peaking. So if you would just do me a favor and subscribe to my page there. But before we go, Christopher, there is right behind you, there's a crate that says Palmolive on it. It's a box of soap. Could you slide it over here? So
I can give it to you. I'll send it to you right now. Here it is.
This is what I would like to say to anyone who's in the process of getting United States citizenship. There are many people in my life who this is happening to, which is why it's very personal to me. As you all know, there are going to be ICE agents at the airports now, which is a great idea considering how chaotic air travel is already, to just throw this other layer into it. I'm just reminding everybody, if you're a person that's in the process of getting your citizenship, please make sure you have all of your documents digitally when you go to the airport. Make sure you also have a paper copy of them on you in case you need them. And even more importantly, make sure that someone at home has a digital and a paper copy as well in case you need to, and if you're privileged to make that one phone call, if it happens. We haven't heard about anything too horrible happening as of press time, but the airport is a chaotic place where things can slip through the cracks. People can disappear very easily there. Just be careful. That's all. It doesn't mean you should avoid going to the airport. I mean, you should avoid going to the airport because it takes 4 hours to wait on TSA.
It looks horrific. Yeah.
It's already, but please, if you're in that position, just make sure you're fully protected. And honestly, if your destination's drivable, drive. Just rent a car. I'm not saying take the bus because that's a fate worse than death. But
I'd rather walk.
Just be careful. That's it. Just be careful. That's all.
And just people in general. People in general going to the airport. Be careful.
Truly be careful. That's the last place I want to see an ICE agent. To be honest with you, is at the airport. I'm already stressed out. And just one more thing to remember, kids. For the past 10 years, the Proud Boys, remember them? They've been a regular part of the news cycle. We would hear about attacks and protests and all this shit. But for the past year and a half, they have not been in the news at all. And it is because all the Proud Boys are now ICE agents. Please know who you're dealing with. Don't get into fights with them. Keep your cool. Have your documents with you. And we're with you. And that's it. We love you. Where's Shelley? Where's Nancy? There's a new Galinda book. Celine is performing. What's the other good news? I'm wearing a light blue hat today.
Where is Nancy? Where the fuck is Nancy?
Oh, God.
She's done.
I hate when I get an alert. It's Savannah Guthrie's still undecided about returning to the Today Show. People, I don't need.
Don't tell me this. Don't tell me that. Yeah.
I don't need her to. I don't need her to do that.
Okay, we really have to go. We really have to go.
We love you.
We love you all.
Vital messages right now. Oh, it's Mother's Day.
It is Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day for us because our mother's here. Kate Casey. I don't even need to give an intro. Everyone here knows you as our mother.
Only the unborn don't know who Kate Casey is at this point in pop culture history.
That's so nice.
And even
go
then,
to sleep with that. Thank you.
Some of them probably do. No.
Yeah.
Kate, do you think that there are pregnant women who put headphones on their belly and have their unborn children listen to your podcasts?
I would hope so. Yeah.
She would love that. That'd be a great thing for her.
It's still a mystery to me, the people that say, I go to bed with your voice. And I tell my family that, and they're like, what is wrong with those people? Because the sound they hear is me screaming at them.
Yeah. Well, your voice on the podcast is a much different voice from when you're screaming at your kids.
I still can't believe you have 5 children, given the amount of podcast. I can't. Do you have? In my head, you have some device on the inside of your eyelids and you're actually watching television now. Or it's plugged into the back of your head, like in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like that's the way that you're able to consume so many things. Because a lot of people quiz me about the stuff that you and Chris talk about on your podcast. Like people want to come up and talk about Love is Blind. I'm like, I don't watch Love is Blind. And the truth is I have plenty of time to watch it. And I just actually don't.
Yeah. Truly. Yeah.
But good for you. I marvel. I don't know. Do I sound shady? I'm marveling at how I always marvel at the myth of Kate Casey. Like, I don't know the children and the podcast and the knowledge and all the other things. I just don't know. Like, there are days when I make my bed and that is it.
But when you have a lot of kids, you don't have the choice. Like my friend Christine asked me the other day, like, who does your laundry? And I went, well, I do. Like, you don't have a choice. Like, you keep the train moving. My train's moving all day long. But the nice thing is now with a lot of the screeners that I have to watch, I rope other people in my orbit into it. So like my niece is visiting and my son's 14. So we watched the Jury Duty next season last night. Should he have gone to bed so he could be ready for school tomorrow? Yeah. But am I that kind of mother? No, I'm not. So
you also
have a cleaning person?
One day a week on the weekend, she'll come. But I'm doing clean up the house and the laundry and all that. But like once you're in forward motion, like you just get shit done. I truly believe.
Kate also rules. Kate also rules with an iron fist.
Will be a woman with children. I do. Yeah, that's true. That's that. Yeah.
Kate rules with an iron fist. They're not like little brats. Yeah. Like she gets them right in line. I've seen it in person many times.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but
anyway.
Well, and now I feel like your kids like parent each other. Like the older ones take care of the younger ones. Like people in big families always say like, oh yeah, I like raised my younger sister. We have that going on too. So that
like the oldest will cook dinner for the little ones. Yeah, I train them.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Is it?
Anywho.
Well, speaking of iron clits, that is what we said, right? Did I mishear that? Speaking of ruling with an iron clit, the person we're fixing today, right? The person that we're fixing today was a starlet in the 80s. For me, like she's someone who during my 7 minutes of research, as happens often on this broadcast, I'm like, oh shit, this woman's been in my life for a very long time. Like I was a very impressionable 11-year-old queen when Dynasty premiered. Oh no, I was 10. I was 10 when Dynasty premiered. And she was there in the very beginning. We were speaking, of course, of Heather Locklear. I don't want to get too far down the road here, but I was so excited to see that we were fixing her just so we could talk about her. Because as the listeners know, I watch Dynasty every day. On Instagram every day because I follow an account called Dynasty Chronicles. And there's a guy who lives in Australia who just airs what are basically the full episodes. Like each day he'll air 10 minutes of an episode on the page. And we've been following along for years now because there are 9 seasons of the show. And I think we're in season 7.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what's going to happen. And it's like just a whole bunch of people, of all different ages weighing in about the show that has been off the air for, I mean, at least 30 years. It's crazy. Like went off in 91 and still has like a cult following. Anyway, and not in small part due to this lady. Anyway, Heather Locklear, let's play the middle name game. This is where we ask our guests and Christopher to guess the middle name.
I already know it though. I have to be honest.
You do?
I do.
Okay, no problem.
Because to know me is to know that I'm a nerd who remembers details.
I was wondering today when I was looking it up, I was wondering. Okay, Christopher. So on the newly established Dominick Pupa, well, let me give you the information. Heather Locklear, September 25th, 1961. That makes her what comes after Virgo?
Libra.
Okay, she's a Libra. So she's 64 years old. 64. 65. She's born in Los Angeles, California. Heather and Locklear are her birth certificated first and last names. Now, before I say what is Heather Locklear's middle name, I will give you we have a new feature here, Kate, the Dominick Pupa guess on the guessability index. This is a 0 on the normal guessability index. You'll never get it. But with one more clue, I'm going to bump the guessability up to a 5 when I tell you.
Fuck.
It's obviously a family name and not a normal, but it's a family name that sounds like a normal human name, but is spelled differently.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Let me
not
think.
any clues.
That's all he gets. It's not Louise or Marie, obviously.
Heather Madison Locklear.
Cute guess based on the clues. It's Dean. Heather Dean Locklear. But
Okay.
Dean is spelled like Paula Dean.
Got it. DEEN.
Yeah. Heather Dean Locklear.
MDL. $1 million listing.
HDL.
Paula Dean.
Oh, yeah. HDL. What am I saying?
Isn't HDL, what is that? A hormone? Is HDL a hormone?
I think so.
No,
that's
it's close
why,
to it.
That's
though.
why my hair is falling out as HDL.
Heather Locklear was like, I guess I didn't realize that she was like the most Californian girl who has ever existed. In addition to being Caucasian and blonde and being born in Los Angeles, her mother was a production executive and her father was an administrator at UCLA after being a colonel in the United States Marine Corps. So this is the most Californian person who has ever lived. She did guests, obviously with the mother. And I didn't realize her mother was in the business. That's obviously how she got her toe in the door. And she did a bunch of commercials and stuff. But Dynasty was her big break, really. And her relationship with Aaron Spelling obviously continued through for a long time because she was. I'll never. First of all, she played Sammy Jo on Dynasty, who was Joan Collins' daughter-in-law. She married Stephen, who then came out of the closet. It was a very controversial story at the time because this was like an actual gay person on a hit on a drama, during the AIDS crisis, no less, which just got worse as it went on. Yeah. And so she was a big part of it. She was a real vixen. It had to be, right? I mean, I don't know that anything happens on his shows without him giving the green light, but because Richard and Esther Shapiro were the showrunners, but Aaron Spelling was the dude. And she was 19 when she started and was an instant, everyone knew who she was the following day because Sammy Jo was a slut and she was gorgeous. She was just truly gorgeous and caused trouble on their
slut on a soap opera. That's that story. That story's been driven.
Mm-hmm.
Story is being driven.
I should say I should have introduced her. She got on the show because she was Linda Evans, the character of Crystal. She was Linda Evans's niece. And I don't get to say this often, but bringing it back to AIDS, it turned out later in the show that Rock Hudson was her father. She found out on the show later on.
Oh, wow.
We can talk later, Chris, about whether or not we should
to the time that he died.
Rock Hudson was her father in real life, or on the
on Dynasty. Rock Hudson
got it. I was like, what? I was like,
yeah. Rock Hudson was her father on the show. She didn't know who her father was. Sammy Jo didn't know who her father was. Turned out to be Rock Hudson.
Got it.
Who had a short arc on Dynasty where there was controversy because before he came out as being positive or having AIDS, he had a kissing scene with Linda Evans, and it was such a huge controversy at the time because he wasn't out and people weren't fraternizing with people who had AIDS. People were still very, very terrified of it. And when he appeared in public and had lost a considerable amount of weight and then revealed he had AIDS and was forced to come out of the closet as a result. And the big scandal was that weeks before on television, he had, his character had attempted to have an affair with Linda Evans and they had a big kissing scene. And Joan Collins and Linda Evans
at that time people were like, you can't share a spoon, you can't be around.
Yeah, right.
That's
why everyone was in a panic.
Terrified.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who are we talking about? Heather Locklear?
Yeah. No.
Well, I think kind of interesting just to put in perspective of the enormity of the show that she was on because it was campy, it was glamorous, but it was also at the intersection of this huge health issue, and pop culture and news all conjoined. When I think of her, I think of this improbable body. She was I would say 5'5", 5'6", very tiny, and was one of the few women in the world who could wear a high cut bikini and it would look okay.
Like a French cup.
Yeah, she was
like a French cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She was definitely gorgeous. Yeah, Dynasty's and I know I've said this before, but I'm gonna do a podcast about
Yeah, I really feel like you
Dynasty,
should.
I should.
Gives me all this really gives me the feels. Just
there's so many bits of history in the show. It also redefined like drama, like those soap operas on their own, because there was a woman, Joan Collins was like the ultimate bitch on that show. And like every soap opera after that copied her, all of them. They still do. On Dynasty, Alexis's sister wrote a tell-all. She was an author and wrote a tell-all about Alexis, about Joan Collins. So it was sort of like, there was like a tongue-in-cheek version of Jackie Collins on that show. On Dynasty, however, Alexis then purchased the publishing company that had written the tell-all and burned it. It was never released. Because on a soap opera, when you just throw out the one manuscript you have of a book that's about to be released, it just goes away. Yeah.
Wow.
She bought the company and burned it. Anyway, back to Heather Locklear. Her, at the time, by the way, once she put in a year or two on Dynasty, she then also started concurrently starring in another television show on the same network called TJ Hooker, which was centered around William Shatner as a cop. And Heather Locklear was also a cop.
I remember that being on TV.
It was great. She was just on these existing shows at these two concurrently running shows. Kind of unheard of. Like,
and one, she's glamorous. And the other one, she's got this like little tiny body and like a cop suit.
But she was like a very glamorous cop. Like she's like
feathered hair, big blue eyes.
It's a joke to look at her she looks like a stripper in a blue.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, time to spice up this precinct. You know what I mean? She's like ready to put a boombox on. I mean, you don't have that today. Like
not at the same time.
Kathy Bates is Matlock, and she's not then like something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Queen Latifah is the equalizer, and then she's nothing else. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I do not believe you just drew a line between Heather Locklear and Kathy Doyle Bates. You're amazing.
And Queen Latifah.
And Queen Latifah. Well, how many other people can I do this with?
Do you understand that? You don't need to, because you've ticked off literally every box possible. Yeah. Age, race, sexuality. I mean, maybe put a man in there. I don't know. That's the only way. That's the only way. And so she appeared in a few movies. She did appear in a movie called Return of the Swamp Thing, which my roommates and I watched in college until the VHS died. Like
burned up in the
It was so hilarious and terrible. And then she pretty much makes history by appearing on and saving the nighttime soap opera Melrose Place. She essentially did to Melrose Place what Joan Collins did to Dynasty, which was the ratings were okay. Joan Collins joined Dynasty. Boom. Same business model here. Melrose Place was buzzy and doing okay. But once they added a bitch to the show, it just, everything skyrocketed. And it became sort of a thing, like a Hollywood term, like pulling a Locklear was like, who's going to come in and save the show? Like Locklearing something meant like you saved the show.
Let's bring that back.
I would like, yeah.
They're going to Bates it. They're going to Bates it.
Oh,
I don't know what that is.
Kathy Bates.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't know. Why did I think of Norman Bates?
Should I say they're going to Latifah it?
Have you lost your Latifah?
I will say, okay, Melrose Place, at least I was alive when this show was on. So that's why and I do remember it being obviously being so famous. I mean, not that I didn't know about Dynasty and TJ Hooker, obviously, but Melrose Place was on, and I remember it being like such a bit, like everyone being so obsessed with it.
Yep. Melrose Mondays, baby. We used to love
appointment TV.
She was in 199 episodes of Melrose Place.
Get the fuck! I didn't even know there were that many episodes.
I know, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it there were like sexual tension with Thomas Calabro? Was like that the whole thing?
With everybody. I mean, literally with everybody. No. With Andrew Shue, with Billy and Andrew Shue, with like the love triangle with Amanda, Courtney Thorne-Smith, and Andrew Shue.
And then Melrose Place goes away, obviously.
Well, then after that, she goes to Spin City.
Oh, yeah.
Where she did
with
what?
Charlie Sheen.
Pulled a Locklear. Did she join that show? Because
that show was kind of like dragging. And then to bring her back, that was another ratings bonanza.
Well, she joined it to save it because remember, Michael J. Fox was headlining Spin City, and then he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, so he took a step back, and Charlie Sheen took over.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers still weren't going
sexual
up.
Tension.
Yes. Yeah. Michael J. Fox and Charlie Sheen had great sexual tension. Yes.
Yeah.
Are we thinking about different broadcasts? No, and so then when Charlie Sheen came on, I don't know if they came on together or if I think Heather Locklear was hired after Charlie Sheen had already been established, and they wanted the numbers to go up. Charlie Sheen also won a Golden Globe for Spin City. It's worth noting.
I felt like they had great banter. They're comedic. She and listen, she's been in a lot of dramas, but she really does have great comedic timing. But she and Charlie were a really good match for each other, and also Michael J. Fox too.
And let's not forget, also, she was during this time. She is just red hot. She's on Dynasty and T.J. Hooker at the same time in the 80s, and she just does what someone of that caliber of celebrity does and starts marrying rock stars. Let us not forget that she was married to Tommy Lee.
Accountant
before Pam Anderson was. She was married to Tommy Lee for a number of years, actually, from 86 to 93.
Wow, God, those are stories.
A year later, she marries Richie Sambora, and they stayed married for 13 years. They have a daughter. Ava's their daughter, right? Yes, Ava Sambora.
And I feel like Richie Sambora was completely, absolutely in love with her. And they have Ava, who, by the way, is incredibly successful, advanced degrees. I think she works in mental health, very accomplished.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Listen, you look at the child and they're successful. That something went right with the parents, right?
For sure. Yeah. They always seem to have a good relationship to me, too. It always seemed like...
Yeah, but remember, there was the weird thing with Denise Richards.
Oh, and Richie Sambora? I am unaware of this.
What?
No. And by unaware, I mean, let's pause and I can look at the internet and maybe be reminded of it.
Well, Denise Richards and Heather Locklear were good friends. And then she found out that Denise either went on a date with him or something happened. There was a dalliance, and then it was kaput. They could never be friends again.
Oh my.
A lot of residual feelings of resentment.
Interesting.
That
I
tracks.
also forgot,
sadly,
by the way,
that tracks.
I forgot that Heather Locklear, after Richie Sambora, she started dating Jack Wagner, who was appearing on Melrose Place with her.
It's just a little more time
to be sure what I feel.
What I need.
Dear God.
Is it all in my mind?
In my mind.
Because it seems so hard to believe. Like
all
I need. People
song.
didn't know Cher sang the last line of that song. Jack Wagner, they were engaged. Heather Locklear and Jack Wagner
for a
were
long
engaged.
Time.
Yeah.
For a long time. Yeah.
That's like super couple territory. Or
that
definitely
is a
verging on
couple.
it. Yeah. Pretty major.
Dynamite.
I feel like she's someone who's become like Hollywood royalty in the sense of like she'll just always be a star in the sense of, and I feel like she's not been in,
I agree.
and she's in these shitty ass things she's in now, and like it's not in anything real, and it like does not matter because like we always just like think of her as like a real star.
You know what I like about her too? She's dazzling on screen in a way that I think. And probably the women that were on Dynasty with her also. There's kind of a history, I guess, of Aaron Spelling, picking women that kind of embody this. She's dazzling on screen in a time where I think it was hard for men to accept a woman in a role where she's fierce. Mm-hmm. She's bold. She's a force of nature. Mm-hmm. Every character that she plays is this really strong woman. She's not playing these roles where it's like a damsel in distress. She's a formidable person who like has a career and an opinion and is respected. And that's the thing I've always loved about the roles that she plays. And I think she probably has to be that kind of person in order to play those roles. It has to come from somewhere to be able to play that.
And I'm so glad that you just brought that up because I feel that when we start to see her career kind of stall out, I feel like in the 90s, we liked those characters. And then I feel
Yes,
like in
we
the
did.
early 2000s, it was very like male focused. And then again, that's like the rise of like Perez Hilton and like the blogs and like I
And you're
feel like
fat and
she
you're
kind
ugly and
of
you're a drunk and you're a druggie and you're
then
like all those things.
and the women weren't instead of it
Mhm.
being like, oh, here's these like soap stars that were so popular in the 80s and 90s. It was all about like young, dirty sluts. You know what I mean? And it was about
You're
like
correct, Chris.
Lindsay
Yes.
and Paris and all that.
And they were
like,
minors, most of them. Yes.
yes. And so, which is
Mhm.
disgusting. It went from being these like older soap stars to being
Yes.
these like young, barely legal, like Nepo hoes, for lack of a better term.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? That like, or like, at least they want them to be these hoes. And then we kind of like lose our Heather Locklears and we lose our like,
Mhm.
our like Joan Collins. Like, I don't know, we lose our like
Mhm.
Susan Lucci's kind of that are these like older matriarch characters that we loved so much. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that she ever really recovered from that.
Not
No.
only that, I think that, she had a series of personal issues.
Oh,
And I
yes.
think that
I
the
was
media
just
was
about
sort
to
of
address them.
dismissive of it. But then you're like, okay, she becomes at 19 a global star. What are the
Mhm.
pressures that come with that? And to
Sure.
maintain a career over time, Lord only knows she probably has stories about the misogyny. I mean, what she's probably been through. I
Mhm.
think in the year 2026, we probably have more context and we're more empathetic and understanding of the toll that fame would take on someone.
Yeah, 100%.
She's definitely it appears as though she is maybe not shunned. She's not been an active participant in being a celebrity for, almost the past 20 years. And I think a lot of that has to do with getting burned because she's had a lot of personal troubles and became, for a period of time during the Perez years, she became known much more for that. Like she was introduced to a generation as this actress who had personal troubles, like the people who weren't, Chris's age, who couldn't who didn't
Yeah.
catch Melrose Place as
Sure.
a kid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was like people, that's how they're being introduced to her. It started
It's like washed up. Like she was like
totally
a washed up
like
celebrity.
introduced to them as washed up, which is sort
And
of a unique phenomenon.
A
you know?
lot of those 90s stars, a lot of those people that were white hot in the 90s, they were like, once we got to 2001 and like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and all these like
Right.
the Mickey Mouse Club-esque people then took over.
They shoved a lot of people aside. They definitely
purported,
did.
yes. Like me as a kid, like when I thought of Heather Locklear, even then I thought of her as like a has-been actress. Like
Yep.
that was how it was
Sad.
portrayed to me, which
Yeah.
is like crazy to look back now and think like, again, Dominick, one of our biggest fights we've ever had is that was like, when I was a kid, like Madonna was seen to kids as like a has-been singer,
Oh,
even though some of her
wow.
best
Right.
music was done in like the
Mhm.
early 2000s. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like
Mm.
in the early 2000s when we were listening to Britney Spears on repeat, like Madonna was
okay,
like
yeah.
the old version of Britney Spears that like is
Right.
like too old. And meanwhile she was
okay.
like
That makes
39
sense.
years
Yeah.
old. Like
Mhm.
And I think my part of that argument was that knowing that to me means your entire generation should be put down. I think
Yeah.
was what
Well,
was
also,
my-
like,
yeah.
again, the media message is like youth. And these
Yes,
girls
yes.
are like not educated. They're not protected. The prefrontal cortex is not even fully developed. The responsibility
Yeah.
on them to be productive members of society, in addition to like highly professional, when they're being fed alcohol and drugs and they're on the world stage and then they're told they're fat and that they're not talented. And so all of the women who had been so accomplished were just pushed to the side. And that's totally unfair to all parties involved.
One, and again, to be fair, to defend the people that Dominick wants to put down an entire generation of people, we weren't the one. We were children, like adults that were your age, were telling us that
they were doing
Madonna
it.
and all these people were washed up.
Not
you know what I
these
mean? Like,
adults
Well, not gay men. It was
no,
the
but do
straight
you know what I mean?
men.
Like people,
Yeah.
like,
who are
it was
technically
adults.
never adults, I might
It
add.
was adults
Who owned
telling
the media
us that were
companies.
10-year-old children that these people
Yeah.
were washed up. Do you know what I mean? They were like, move on aside
Mhm.
because we have these young, easily exploited pop stars that are coming up that we can just,
We can do
rake
whatever
over
we
the
want to
coals
them.
again and again and again.
There's various of them, but she was pulled over several times for DUIs or reckless driving. There were several domestic violence called. Like she would argue with people she was dating and the police would be called. At one time she assaulted a police officer. That was like the last major one. Like when a police officer came to break up a domestic dispute, she had assaulted the officer and would have misdemeanor battery charges. And it was a lot. And she is admitted to substance abuse issues and has been to rehab several times. And then just became one of those unfortunate group of women of a certain age who every time they're out in public, they just can't go to the grocery store. And it's just like every time they look their worst, they would end up on TMZ or Perez every single time.
Yeah.
And, she would drink. And so you don't look great after a night of, nobody does after a night of drinking. And they'd always know and they'd always catch her. And, they'd mug shots and police videos and blah, blah, blah. And she was definitely a victim of that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't love that.
No, I don't love her driving under the influence either. I'm not going to put her to death the way I am certain current others, but because you get over it after a while. You get mad at family members. And I'm not mad at Heather Locklear anymore.
It also doesn't help, and this is going to be mean, but like she had like California plastic surgery like 1.0 or like 0.0. I feel that she was a guinea pig for many procedures that later they perfected.
Well, that could be true because maybe some of these plastic surgeons are like, to get Heather Locklear as my client.
Yeah.
Compounded with the pressure that everyone expects her to look like 19-year-old who was on Dynasty and then went to TJ Hooker.
Right. Yeah. Things have happened that we can come back from there in that realm.
Well, shame on those surgeons.
And it is what it is. And you know what I mean? And you just can't. And that's unfortunate also.
Although
she does a podcast
recently,
now, by
and
the
she
way.
looks great. Yeah.
She does.
Really?
She's definitely,
Oh, because these pictures I'm seeing, it's not looking good.
Have you listened to the podcast?
Maybe
ever?
I'm seeing. Wait, hold on. Wait, let me. I'm gonna Google podcast with it.
He means she's not looking good right now.
No.
Her podcast is a riot.
Wait, she has a podcast?
Yes,
a hit
with
podcast.
Jillian Barberie.
Yeah.
They're a riot.
What?
She's another one. Like,
she's our peer.
Like, she is our colleague for sure. Yeah,
she's our colleague.
That's crazy. What do they talk about?
Oh, like old stories and stuff. It was kind of perfect.
Fun.
Yeah. But her voice is different. That's another interesting. It's a little bit higher now than it used to be.
Okay, let me just say I'm going to take back what I said because I'm now seeing pictures and she does look good.
She looks great.
I think she's got zhuzhed. I do.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're back in the clear. Oh, she has an Instagram? I wouldn't think that she would have Instagram. Oh, I'm really learning a lot here.
So she's out there at least. I mean, and I know that the podcast was definitely like a step up. I don't know like what her return to acting looks like on her end. I'm assuming one of us will probably bring that up. But I'm just remembering now too that her character, Melrose Place, was already a spinoff of 90210. And then they spun off. It only lasted for a year, but it was called Models Inc. And
great one.
It was Amanda Woodward, Heather Locklear, her character's mother, Hillary, owned a modeling agency in Los Angeles. They had a very contentious
Leah
relationship.
Remini was on it? And Halle Berry?
Yes, this was that show. Garcelle was on it. Garcelle was a model.
Yeah. Yep. We talked about this.
I can't remember about Halle Berry. Yeah.
We were fixing Halle Berry. I think we brought this up.
Yes. And
Leah Remini was a model with her like accent.
Well, Linda Gray, who played Sue Ellen on Dallas, which had recently been canceled, then hopped networks and then played Heather Locklear's mother, who had been on Dynasty. It was like, again, for faggots paying attention at that time, this was a big, this was like, Sue Ellen Ewing is Sammy Jo Carrington's mother.
I have a friend, Scott, who is friends with all of these women and travels to see them and like friends.
Oh, because they do cons together, like Donna Mills. They all they all know each other. The Knots Landing ladies.
I met Morgan Fairchild. I thought he was
she's another one.
Lose his mind.
Yeah. No, and that is those women. And again, they didn't transition past the like blog days. You know what I mean? They always just were like these 90s stars. Like, what did Morgan Fairchild do? You know what I mean? Like, she was on Friends.
I'll tell you, Morgan Fairchild is one of the smartest people I've ever met in my whole life. Like, she's like, when you talk to her, she's like, well, I was talking to my friend at the CIA yesterday and, with all the grids. And I'm like, she's bonkers smart.
And like, I'm sure she is, but I'm saying like they had this fame and then it was at a time when like you kind of couldn't capitalize on it yourself.
Yeah,
right, because it changed,
yeah.
right? You know, they're
You know what I
like
mean?
they're like the world's most famous drag queens the year that RuPaul's Drag Race came out. And you just kept there were a lot of drag queens who were so popular in their home cities that I believe that they weren't even considered like to audition for Drag Race because they were looking for like unknown.
Because they were like too famous, quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you remember like Hedda Lettuce, you know, in New York, like a very well-known New York drag queen, auditioned for like years. And finally she was just like, fuck it. Because from what I heard that they weren't accepting her because she was already too famous. Like there were drag queens that were too famous. Which now, like a famous, she performs everywhere. She'll be in Provincetown this summer.
Yeah, she's still very around. She's still around. She's still very famous.
One of the funniest names ever.
Yeah, Hedda Lettuce. Yeah,
yeah, she's very funny too.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. This is sad. I don't like it.
Why?
No, it's not sad at all.
Because it's like they really were stars and did a lot of work, and then it was like ripped away from them. I feel. Do you know what I mean? I'm lumping her into more people.
Yeah,
but don't you feel that?
Yeah, I think some of them give a shit about it more than others, though. I'm not sure that she gives a shit. I think that she was so famous and so young.
Yeah, maybe.
That part of her like breathes a sigh of relief. She looks really good now. I'm looking at these podcast clips. She's actually like, she looks like the old Heather Locklear in her 60s.
The love story interest in the 90s and Carolyn Bessette. I guarantee you there's some big wigs at a network right now going, okay, well, how do we
like sniffing
how do we
around.
Tap back into that? Yeah. Hey, Heather, what's going on? I bet she got a call this week from Hulu.
You think? Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I do. Yeah.
To
Can you play somebody's mom?
Host a SWAT documentary, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Something.
My world stopped when I heard.
I'm sorry, but that's a big get. If you have a project right now and you get Heather Locklear on board, I think that's
for
a big
sure.
Get.
She is and always will be a name. Like, doesn't matter. Like, there were like that era. The Perez era earlier. We would have looked down on her during those handful of years, but I feel like it's all evened out now. There's so much nostalgia now. Like, it's great.
I mean, are we here?
I think we have pulled up to the arena. I think the carpet has been rolled, statues are being unveiled, and the world awaits our arrival at the Johnson & Johnson Fixing Famous People Arena to give our fixes for Heather Dean Locklear.
The Procter & Gamble.
Right?
Fixing Famous People Arena.
The Jack Pocket Fixing Famous People Arena.
The Starkist Tuna manifesting. Starkist Tuna Fixing Famous People Arena. Manifesting. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Here I go. Heather Locklear.
We're alive at the Wax Cabin Candle Company.
No, that's what it actually is. Wait, that's what it actually is going to be? The Wax Cabin Candle Company. And when it's a lighter candles before we go in.
The Wax Cabin Candle Company Arena. It's the fix of the week.
We have to just email. We just have to email JLL. She will like literally be like, "We're good."
You know, for a moment when you said JLL, I just thought Jennifer Lynn Lopez.
Oh, well, that is what I'm saying. JLG, our girl.
Got it.
JLG.
That's right.
By the way, I just saw she's directing her next movie in Hudson Williams.
I saw that.
Don't get me started.
It'll be in the appropriate prefix, but we don't even know.
Anyway,
okay.
Maybe she could put Britney in her movie.
Oh God, Dominic, don't do this.
She doesn't like competition.
You've been mean to me enough on this episode.
I have.
I'm joking.
If you bring up Victoria Beckham, he'll lose his mind.
Oh God, no. Dominic loves her. Dominic loves that whole situation more.
I love Victoria Beckham.
Okay,
I do too.
Heather Locklear. Heather Paula Dean Locklear. But or no. When you guys were talking about Dynasty and how it was like all the things and like the making out with the guy that was HIV positive and that was a big thing. And like, I was like, yeah, that is a big deal. I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about this and like, oh, thinking about that. And like, it brought me to a place where I almost want there to be like a documentary retrospective about Dynasty. And like what it has done for the landscape of television and entertainment.
Could you have actors playing them?
I don't know. I almost think it's a sit down interview about the.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's a scripted thing. I think it's like them looking back and like Heather Locklear and like all of the people, like, you know what I mean? All of the like stars that are still with us are like coming back. And like, I don't want to say it's like, remember the first thing we ever reviewed together, Kate, was the Friends reunion. I think it was one of the first things that ever came on your show to talk about. Like, not in that way, but in more of a documentary and like giving the praise to Dynasty and like what it is. I mean, like, what is the Real Housewives if not a unscripted version of Dynasty, right? Correct. Or they like it wanting to be that. Like, I almost want there to be a documentary series about Dynasty and its cultural impact on the world. And I feel like that would be like, because I don't think Heather Locklear getting her flowers in a Heather Locklear documentary is what I want. I want her to be given her flowers adjacently through a documentary about either that or Melrose Place. But I think that Dynasty is way more impactful. Like, a Dynasty documentary where like Heather Locklear, we get to like be like, oh yeah, Heather Locklear was like a force in Hollywood. And it was crazy that she was like so powerful one day and then the next day the lights turned off on her basically. And like that's within this documentary. That's my pitch.
Okay.
I am doing something scripted. I think I had this as my pitch before we even recorded the episode, actually. I would love, she's such an era defining person that I think bringing her back, I don't know, will it be as big of a hit as Dynasty? No, but I think like bringing Lucille Ball back years later as someone who's similar to her character, like it worked. She stayed on television. I want that character back, and I want Heather Locklear, who is now, she's in the age group now that Joan Collins was sort of. She's a little bit older than that, actually, because Joan Collins was in her mid-50s. And so Heather Locklear's 64, but I still think it's fine. I think that she should headline the Dynasty, the continuation of the story. Like, obviously, we would update how it's shot and written, you know, but I think it should still be like a standard, juicy nighttime soap opera and call it Samantha and have it be her character and sort of the continuation of, and you could have Joan Collins and Linda Evans make cameos on it. I doubt either of them would want to return to series television. Joan Collins is like 92. She's like 92 years old.
She can do whatever she goes to her deathbed and then that's it. And then we're good to go.
I like taking someone who's really campy and giving them an updated version. Like, she could still be vixeny, slutty Sammy Joe, but give her more of like a David E. Kelly treatment a little bit is what I'm thinking, where it's just like a little more like the updated, modern, more thoughtful version, but she's still the same character. Sort of like a senior. I want to see Sammy Joe as a slutty senior citizen, Ally McBeal, Sammy Joe Carrington. And that and let's just call it Samantha. We'll put it on Netflix. And that's my pitch.
I feel like she should be in a Hulu scripted show where she's a CEO and her husband is this loser who's running for office. And then she's got adult age kids who are kind of in the orbit. But like, she's a formidable CEO and she's got this husband who keeps fucking up because he really wants to run for office, but she always has to come and fix the problems for him. Because I feel like that's at the intersection of pop culture and news. And you could do like involve things that are very pertinent today where she's still that force. She can't play the wife of a person who, you know, she's sort of like the meek wife in the background. She could never play that.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to put it to a vote.
I think we will too.
I love, because of my love of Dynasty, I'm so sexually in love with my idea that I won't surrender it. I'm like so attached to Dynasty, but I think that I also think Kate's idea is pretty good too.
No, so and I like it's very like Good Wife, somewhat like The Good Wife, like early Good Wife, which you know is like mine and Rebecca's favorite show like of all time. So
now, as far as the Dynasty documentary, I like it because I feel like with Pamela Anderson's documentary, all of a sudden Hollywood felt terrible about the way she was treated, and it allowed her to be considered for roles that she wouldn't necessarily have been considered
for. She was
and
back.
It opened
a showgirl.
A ton of opportunities. I think that you can't do a Dynasty one because I think the other women are way too self-conscious about being on camera. And that would make it logistically difficult to put together. So you almost would have to do a Heather Locklear documentary on like a standalone. I think if you do it that way, then they'll start to consider her for more scripted roles. That caveat that with,
I don't know about
because
that.
of Love
I don't know if I
Story,
agree with you.
everybody's so into the 90s right now, they may just go ahead and put her into something.
Yeah.
Let's put it to a vote.
Let's vote. Okay, we'll vote.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. Kate, everyone can go listen to your podcast where we will be recapping Love is Blind, right? Where can they find you?
Reality Life with Kate Casey. Please sign up at katecasey.substack.com. You get my weekly what to watch list. So I will tell you. And like this, by the way, this coming week, there's a docuseries about a messed up yoga instructor guru. One of my favorite categories.
Another one.
Another one. Fukushima. There's like a doc about that.
Oh,
Remember
God.
that whole 4-part doc series on Netflix about the Murdochs.
Oh, that's fun. I'll be watching
I feel like
that.
you guys would like that.
I like that stuff. Dominick, where can people find you?
They can find me at domentary.com, which is my website, or they can find me more regularly on Instagram, which is at Dominick Pupa. Christopher, where can the listeners of our podcast find you on the World Wide Web?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Fixing Famous People. I wish you both well, and as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye. And where's Nancy Guthrie?